Welcome back
To Read the Room,
A Culture Club.
a podcast by
Alexys.
Kaylin.
and Larsen.
Today, our episode is a mini episode on campfire stories.
Hell yeah, brother.
No, we were inspired to talk about campfire stories in part because, as we talked about in last week's read episode, we all did go camping at the beginning of May. And so the idea of time spent around a fire, like entertaining each other, was on the mind, but also just because we're in the swing of summer. June has come and gone. It's July. In my mind, summer is like peak camping time.
Absolutely.
So it felt on brand for the current season.
I feel like if you've never sat around a campfire and been scared, what are you doing with your life?
Where was your childhood?
Where was your childhood? Was Bigfoot not part of your culture? I was always afraid Bigfoot was going to come get me at the campfire.
And you know what? It turns out that the campfire story has been a part of many humans' lives. Just to kind of like get us started with a little bit of fun anthropological history. There is no campfire story without fire. Ooga booga. I'm just kidding. Humans first learned to control fire like 400,000 years ago, and that marked the most massive shift in human lifestyle beyond like walking on two legs, literally. Because actually anthropologists have seen that at that time when we developed fire, all of a sudden, not only did our physiological bodies change, like our brain and gut sizes increased, but just like quality of life seemed to increase.
Yeah.
And storytelling around the fire became a natural source of entertainment because early humans
Didn't have Hulu.
exactly. No, but also because like the fire would allow you to keep better watch over whoever was sleeping, but also the fire creates light, which then affects the natural melatonin in your body. Do you guys know the idea of biphasic sleep? This is like one of my like hyperfixations, my mental illness hyperfixations.
Is biphasic sleep where you sleep for a little bit and then you wake up, do some activities, and then go back to sleep?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned about that so long ago from probably a horrible conservative political radio show that I haven't listened to in years and years because I haven't been riding with my parents to school every day. But they talked about that and like the activities people would get up to, I think specifically in like Victorian era, like England, like during biphasic sleep.
Yeah.
And also I think when we stopped doing that, the birth rate dramatically declined, which is interesting.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
So people were
That we be
waking up and they
fucking.
were
Yeah. Read or fuck.
It's interesting how far back you can actually find evidence of something like biphasic sleep. Sleeping in groups around a fire was pretty common in what we would call like pre-civilization era humans.
Yeah.
And that communal setting provided safety and warmth, but it also required individuals to take turns keeping watch and tending to the fire.
Like the Iridians.
Yes.
Like Rocky.
Like Rockies. Yes, in Hail Mary.
Yes.
They have to watch.
It's like, I'm not getting what's happening.
No
Okay,
one was there
yes,
to
yes,
watch
yes, yes.
Rocky sleep.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That was such a good movie.
If you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, please do. Yeah, the Iridians, they get it. Taking the turns to sleep and watch and protect each other around the fire led to segmented sleep patterns. That's like part of the way that biphasic sleep actually then developed as a large scale trend. But it also meant that there was times when small, intimate groups of people were awake around a fire. And naturally, where's your mind going to turn?
Yapping.
But to yapping.
Yapping or napping.
Yeah, they were yapping or napping. A study suggests that socializing and storytelling around a communal fire may have offered our hunting and gathering ancestors actually like a unique time to expand their minds and imagination in ways that actually were just like not possible during the workday, because when it was light outside, it was time for doing like labor,
Yeah.
you know? There wasn't as much time for just like letting your mind wander, or if your mind was wandering, there wasn't much time for communicating your creative thoughts to others. And therefore, there was a big way in which people could open up and actually kind of discover and form storytelling
Mhm.
around the fire.
That kind of reminds me of I Who Have Never Known Men.
Yeah.
Because I think part of the themes of that is that like storytelling is inherent to the human experience.
And they weren't really allowed to.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to talk, but like our main character was like creating stories in her head, and then eventually
Mhm.
was sharing them. And it's as you're saying this, I'm like, feels like they're in the bunker right now.
Yeah.
And I'll give just one more like little study tidbit because I think it is really fascinating. There's this anthropologist, Polly Weisner, who teaches at the University of Utah, who said, I think people are much more open at night by a fire.
Mm.
We're always checking people's facial expressions, but at night, people are mostly staring into the fire and kind of, fire is very mesmerizing and then expressions get concealed.
Mhm.
She did a conversational study of the Johannesai Bushmen, a group of foragers in northeast Namibia and northwest Botswana, which is in southwestern Africa. She recorded the topics of their conversation and found that during the daytime, 31% of the conversation was about economic disaster.
Mhm.
34% was devoted to criticisms, complaints, and conflict. Joking did make up 16%, but stories made up just 6%.
Mhm.
That sounds a lot like right now.
Yeah.
It tracks. But in the evening, 81% of their conversation was storytelling.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to bring it back a little bit. Like it is a way to decompress.
Yeah.
And it's
Kind
a,
of process.
yeah, process, and also like it does bring out that creative part of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's depressing out there.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of different places that this is taking my mind
Yeah.
to. But like also people bringing musical instruments places and
Mhm.
like having
Yeah.
group singing and group like
Mhm.
just a musical experience. And I think that we just gave the guy with the guitar at the campfire such a bad rap that like we can't bring him back. But like that's same thing. It's like you're creative. It's this communal activity that
Mhm.
isn't um there's less opportunity for conflict than other
Yeah.
conversations.
And like Polly Weissner was saying, it is kind of like you're not as much thinking about performance in terms of what other people
Mhm.
are thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're less likely to be embarrassed. Like even thinking about singing together around a campfire,
Mhm.
people just join in. They're not really worried about like, oh, am I any good?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like an intimacy too that I think
Yeah.
that the nighttime like inherently
Yes.
provides.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and like theoretically, the people you're around this campfire with, you have some sort of closeness with. And whether that's just for the night of being around this campfire or that you're in a community that in a community that you're a part of, that you're in a community where you have similarities, you also have conflict, but it's a time to kind of just have fun, be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that like people like a kumbaya.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just brings us together. I like what Doug Wood, an author and a nature guide, said. He said that most people feel a little bit vulnerable also around a campfire
Mhm.
because as night is dropping down, your senses heighten, and sometimes we get really tuned into the sounds. There's twigs snapping, and it makes people in this place where they're ready to hear stories and their imaginations are ready to participate in them.
Mhm.
The night, it doesn't just provide the intimacy and the community, but it provides the atmosphere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. And I think it's pretty obvious that like what we think of as campfire stories is linked to just general like
Mhm.
oral storytelling traditions which go back so far. Like this
Yeah.
as the basis for all of our communication
Yeah.
and like creativity in books and writing, it goes back to oral storytelling.
Yeah, I feel like the campfire stories that we're gonna tell have some sort of like horror element to some extent. But now that like what you guys have both just said, I'm like, yeah, all the old timers sitting around the campfire, like your grandparents or whatever, and they're telling stories, and it's not
Mhm.
always the quote unquote campfire stories that
Mhm.
we think of. It is just reflections, and
Yeah.
it's peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when we thought up the idea of like campfire stories for an episode. I definitely was like, oh, it'll just be a lighthearted, little
Mhm.
puffy little episode. We'll tell some
Mhm.
stories. But like as soon as I like actually started thinking about it more and hearing this conversation even just now, I'm like, wow, like when you tell a campfire story, you're engaging in an ancient tradition.
Mhm.
Like you're linking like so many generations of people together.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of like what I was just saying is
Mhm.
is that a lot of the campfire stories that we think of when we think of campfire stories have like supernatural motifs or elements of like urban legend.
Yeah.
And even as we were talking before this, I think a lot of the stories we probably heard or were told, it's like either a local twist or a twist that a parent or a sibling did on a story that a lot of people, at least in America, know of because
Yeah.
it's just such a well-known urban legend thing, or it's spooky things also are just like kind of a collective experience sometimes.
Yeah. What I like about campfire stories is that like they do kind of blur lines between urban legends and scary stories and just history and whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's so much combined in it and people make it their own.
Yeah, it's an eclectic art form, right?
Mhm.
Like the campfire story. And I'm sure that part of the beauty of it is that there are certain stories that you hear as a kid, that your dad heard as a kid, that your grandfather heard as a kid, but no one is ever telling exactly the same version
Yeah.
because there's going to be certain parts that one person latches onto. They play up the
Yeah.
horror,
Mhm.
or they play up the supernatural, or they play up the mystery,
Mhm.
or they play up the setting and the scene.
Or the jump scare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
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 And something I like too that I'm sure some of them do have this, but I feel like really differentiates campfire stories from like fairy tales even is that more often than not there's not really a moral lesson.
Mhm.
It is about the story.
Yeah, it's not the fairy tale like
Yeah.
don't do this
Yeah.
because you'll get got. It's more
Yeah.
of just like this is something spooky, something scary that may or may not have happened.
Yeah.
Like
And every now and then there is a like, okay, you're not supposed to go in the lake after dark or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
But a lot of the times there isn't necessarily a moral to the story.
Yeah. And is that because we're so much more comfortable in life now than we were 100, 200, 300, what was it? 800,000, 400,000 years ago that we were
Yeah.
that we have to have different scary things. All right, I think we're going to tell you guys a couple of
Yeah.
stories.
Should we participate in the grand tradition?
I think we
Yeah.
should.
Light a candle.
Yeah.
Get in a dark room, light a candle, sit there,
Yes.
stare at it.
For
Yeah.
proper ambiance, please go light a candle.
Yes, you have to have some sort of fire element. Fake candles don't count. You need to light that shit. Okay, who wants to go first?
Kaylin,
I
would
I
you
will.
like to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'll start us off. Okay, this one is one that I remember my dad telling around the campfire, and the first time he told it, being like, "What the fuck?" I mean, I was like 5, so I didn't say what the fuck. But being shooketh that A, he told such a good tale, and B, the ending. So it just feels so different when somebody else is telling you
Yeah.
a story. All right, so when I was a kid, I went to the carnival, and I was approached by like the fortune teller lady, and she really she had something to say to me about my past. So I go into the tent and sit down at the table with her, and she's holding my hand, and she's telling me about this past life that I had as a dog. I lived on a farm. I had a great life, run through the forest, run through the hills, herd cattle, great life as a dog, right? But one day I got a little too excited, and me and my former life as a dog, I went next door and I started harassing these chickens, right? And the farmer comes out because I'm chasing his fucking chickens, right? And shoots me. And that's how I die in my form as a dog, and I'm reincarnated into this life. I don't know how long ago this was, but she showed me when I was sitting there. She showed me, and if you feel right here, you can feel
Feeling.
that the bullet right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sure there was, because it's my father, I'm sure there was 5 minutes of my life as a dog. But I remember, I don't even think I was the person who was feeling his neck
Yeah.
for the bullet.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, as your dad and you're young and you're just like, did that really happen to him? I think afterwards I was like, when did this happen? Like, how have I never heard this?
Wow, that was good.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah, you got me.
You weren't even feeling my bullet.
I know. Classic
Yeah.
Wow. That was so beautiful. I will admit that I did go camping a lot as a kid. I'm so sure that, in fact, I know that there were stories told around the campfire. I couldn't immediately remember any of them, which it probably just says more about my mental state than anything else. But I did find on Outside Magazine an article called "The Best Campfire Stories from Around the World," and I liked it because it kind of took a global look at campfire stories, and it goes right along with the conversation that we kind of had as an introduction to our stories in terms of the shared tradition.
Yeah.
So I chose the one that I liked the best to share, and that one is from Egypt, and it's got a title. It's called "The Girl and the Ghoul."
Ooh.
And there's a little intro, so it's not starting quite yet. But to give credit, Egyptian documentary filmmaker and photographer Hamza Mansour, co-founder of Blue Camel Media, heard her favorite traditional story at one of the country's most spiritual places, Mount Sinai. She was deep in the desert filming an upcoming documentary about Egypt's Bedouin tribes, and her Bedouin guide, Mohammed Abu Salama from the Jabaleya tribe, shared this cultural tale by firelight, just 330 feet from Sinai's summit. Years ago, there was a beautiful Bedouin nomadic girl who lived with her tribe. A ghoul impersonating a human fell in love with the girl. He followed her everywhere. Then the girl noticed he was a ghoul and not a human. The girl's aunt, highly influential in their tribe, convinced the group leaders to move to keep her niece safe. In the middle of the night, the girl and her aunt left with the first group of Bedouins. The next morning, the Bedouins in the second group realized the ghoul had followed the girl. He was hiding in a woodpile. The girl tried to run from him and even threw her belongings at him in defense. But then there's a dispute about how the story ends, which is part of why I liked it. There's been
Ooh.
multiple interpretations. In one telling,
Yeah.
the ghoul catches and marries the girl, and they have a child together.
Little demon baby.
A little demon baby. The child turns out to be a ghoul herself and eventually eats her own father.
Nice.
Very Aurora Boreas.
Wow.
In the second ending, the girl's belongings harmed the ghoul and kept him at bay until she became old, when he came back and ate her heart.
Wow.
I like the first ending better.
I was going to say, which do you think is a scarier ending?
Scarier second.
When she comes back and eats her father.
No,
No.
that's the
Oh,
first
that's
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He comes back and eats her heart.
Oh,
Because that
okay,
means
yeah.
he's kind of like following her throughout her life.
Yes.
Whole life.
Yeah, a little kind of Rumpelstiltskin action there. Like, well, I guess that's not her whole life, but I do like the different cultural like fairy tales, which
Yeah.
is a
Mhm.
different podcast in itself. But
Oh, for sure.
there's this podcast I believe is Myths and Legends at the end of that podcast, and he does a wide swath of myths and legends from different cultures. At the end of each episode, he does a monster, and it's always fun to like hear the different cultural monsters specifically, because it's
Mhm.
like it's human experience. Like, most of them apply to like every culture, but it's really interesting, like the remedies to like keep some of the monsters away. Like
Mhm.
in this, she's like
Mm.
throwing her belongings, and
Yeah.
that supposedly could like keep them away. But like,
Yeah.
the there's like many things that like you put a broom by your door, so they get distracted counting all the little bristles on the broom. Like,
Mhm.
it's so interesting, all the different
protections.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's one where it's like you throw a certain number of like rocks out there, but he can
Yes.
only count to like 7, so you
Mhm.
throw out like 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trip them up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dumb monsters.
Dumb
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah.
Simpletons.
I love a dual story, because I think that shows that like some people will always tell it one way and some people will always tell it another way.
Mhm.
I think the first ending where they get married is more poetic, and I think the second ending is more scary.
Yeah.
The first ending I feel like is more, you want to call it analogy in some ways for real life, because how many young
Yeah.
girls were being married off to old men and forced to have their children.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in
Rough
some
out
ways,
there.
is that scarier?
Real life is
Mm.
usually the,
Yeah.
the scariest.
Yeah, the scariest tale of them all.
Yeah.
All right, Larsen.
Okay, so I have some that I remember hearing growing up,
Mhm.
and my mom would tell them to me and my sisters and my cousins. And I'm sure if you asked any of us, like they would remember.
Yeah.
Like for some reason these are
Core memories.
yeah, and even if you like we don't remember the exactly how the story goes. like you remember the feeling, you
Yeah.
remember it. But one of them that I really liked and like very influential, I went as this character for Halloween 2
Wow.
years ago, and you might know it. It's the green ribbon. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one that, like, the one I was told was definitely like my mom's version,
Yeah.
but there is a version retold by Alvin Schwartz that is written down like in a book. So I'm gonna read you that one.
I think I checked that book out many a time in the elementary school library.
So the green ribbon. Once there was a girl named Jenny. She was like all the other girls, except for one thing. She always wore a green ribbon around her neck. There was a boy named Alfred in her class. Alfred liked Jenny, and Jenny liked Alfred. One day he asked her, "Why do you wear that ribbon all the time?" "I cannot tell you," said Jenny. But Alfred kept asking, "Why do you wear it?" And Jenny would say, "It's not important."
Feels important, Jenny.
Jenny and Alfred grew up and fell in love.
Aww.
One day they got married.
Aww.
And after the wedding, Alfred said, "Now that we're married, you must tell me about the green ribbon." "You still must wait," said Jenny. "I will tell you when the right time comes." Years passed. Alfred and Jenny grew old. And one day, Jenny became very sick. The doctor told her she was dying. Jenny called Alfred to her side. "Alfred," she said, "now I can tell you about the green ribbon. Untie it, and you will see why I could not tell you before." Slowly and carefully, Alfred untied the ribbon, and Jenny's head fell off.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one as
That
a
was
kid.
good.
Me too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, in my mind, I was like, wait, I think it's gonna be like her throat slit,
Uh-huh.
but the whole head.
The whole head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like even as a child, I was just like, the anatomy does
Yeah.
not work like that.
Yeah.
Like, is she a demon? Like, is that how this is working? But apparently not.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we on to my next tale?
Yeah,
Mhm.
are you gonna terrify me again?
I don't think so. In a different way. There's no physical contact in this one. Okay. So this one was told to me on a basketball team end of season camping trip by our coach, and she really got us good with this one. So in Reading, there's this road called Miracle Mile, and it's this long stretch. And back in the day, there used to be nothing on Miracle Mile, but it is kind of in like the oldish downtown area, leading into what used to be the outskirts of town. And you kind of go up this hill, and it used to be a lot more rural than it is. Important for the story. So this girl, she's driving home late at night, and she's by herself, and there's only one other car on the road, and it's this semi truck that's behind her. And she's going up Miracle Mile, and he just keeps flashing the high beams at her, and she's like, "What the heck? Like, there's nothing. Like, I don't feel like anything's wrong. Like, this is really, really strange." She keeps flashing the high beams at her, and she's getting freaked out now because it's been like a while, and he's clearly trying to like get her to pull over, get her attention for something, right? So she is worried that guy's gonna get her. And so she really quickly pulls off the side of the road, jumps out of her car, and runs into the brush, just trying to get away from this guy, which doesn't seem like a smart decision.
No.
Theoretically, it's like the 1960s in the story.
Right.
So finally, when she kind of feels fine, she thinks the trucker's probably gone. Like, he probably just left because she sprinted away from the car. That's probably too much work for this guy, right? Comes back to her car. The trucker's there. The police are there. And she's told by the trucker that somebody was in the back seat with a knife. And every time she would look in her rear view, he would sneak back down. But he was trying to warn her that there was somebody in the back seat with a
Yeah.
knife that was going to get her. Yeah.
I have also heard that.
I've heard that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I realized. Wait, I know this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's one of those two that I feel like there's many iterations.
variations.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And thank God she didn't die.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
those, like,
She got to
near
live.
misses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check your back seats, kids.
Yeah.
I feel like that used to be a big fear of mine, and I feel like it's more now like somebody's waiting under my car.
Mm.
All right, Larsen. What do you got for us?
Okay, so my second one is one that I won't ever be able to perform it the way my mom did. And I was trying to find like a good written version, like the Green Ribbon, but there's so many different variations of it, and I couldn't find any one that was exactly like what I heard. So I'm gonna try to do a little bit of combining some stuff to.
The stories are working. Alexis is yawning. It's time for bed.
Oh my gosh. Where's my s'more? No, I'm sad.
It was coming up to a girl named Lizzie's birthday party, and her mom forgot to buy her a present. So that day, she went to the store, and she knew that Lizzie always wanted a doll. So she was like, perfect, I'm going to go find a doll. She looked in all the aisles, she couldn't find any, and then finally, in the last aisle she looked, there was one single doll that was different from all the rest.
Bad sign.
It was a beautiful porcelain doll. And she thought, wow, this is perfect. Lizzie has Barbie dolls. Lizzie has Bratz dolls.
She's got Polly Pockets.
Yeah, but she does not have a porcelain doll. So she took it and she bought it. Now, on Lizzie's birthday, all of her friends came, gave her presents, but then her mom presented her with this last present. And she was so excited because it was the doll she always wanted. But this was unlike her other dolls. So her mom said, you need to take really good care of it. This is porcelain. So before she went to bed, she put it up on her shelf so that she knew like she wasn't going to sleep with it. It wasn't, it was going to be fine. She crawled into bed. Her porcelain doll is up on her shelf. And she's like, okay, I'm going to fall asleep. She wakes up in the middle of the night to some little scritchety scratching. And she's like, what the heck is that? She thinks it's like she just dreamt it. So she's about to fall back asleep. And then she hears, Lizzie, I'm on the top shelf. And she sits up in bed and she's like, what the fuck was that?
This is why I have no decorations in my room.
Nothing happens. So she's like, okay, I'm going to go back to bed. That was just my imagination. She wakes up again to, okay, something is going on. Lizzie's like, what is happening? She hears, Lizzie, I'm on the second shelf.
Just getting close.
Lizzie's like, okay, did I still imagine that? Like, am I just so tired?
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I'm just going to lay here. I'm not going to fall asleep, but I'm just going to lay here. But she's in the dark. Just, okay, nothing's happening. She hears. And then she hears, Lizzie, I'm on the bottom shelf. She's like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. So she gets out of bed. She runs down the hallway to her parents' room. Her mom's like, go the frick back to bed. It's nothing. Like, what are you talking about? So she goes back to bed. Again, she's laying there. She's trying to go to sleep. She hears, Lizzie, I'm on the ground. Lizzie, I'm on your bed. Lizzie, I'm coming to kill you. Lizzie, I'm gonna get you. Lizzie, I got you. And that's it.
I think we've tormented Alexis.
Oh man, for the listeners at home, I am sat in the middle currently.
Many of the versions that I found online to try to figure out, because I couldn't find one that my mom said, because my mom's always ended in like the I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
The doll murders her whole family, murders her. It's either like she gets murdered and her parents find her dead, or her whole family gets murdered, she finds them murdered, or like the police come the next day and they're all murdered, and there's like a sign on the wall that's like, until next time or whatever.
Yeah.
I was never told that version. It was always just like ends at the I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. So you don't know. She could have thrown that porcelain doll against the wall and then released its demonic spirit into the house, and then now the whole house is haunted and forever,
But yeah, that was my.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Honestly, we could do a whole other episode on the trope of the evil doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and just like that one sparked another one that we were told in like elementary school that I think it ends up being an alien in a closet saying I'm gonna get you, but it's picking
Oh,
a
I know.
booger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one
Yeah,
too.
still an alien in a closet.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, they're not trying to get you, they're just trying to get the booger in its nose.
Yeah.
Even though I'm an adult and like stuff, I still. I was so riveted during both of your guys' stories. I love the way that Larsen was saying, Lizzie, Lizzie. I also need to point out, I can't help but notice that Larsen has up a webpage that is a storywrite.com, and there's a story by at Tammy123, and some of her other hits include The Pedophile Clown,
Mm.
The
The
Killing
China Doll
The
Part
Killing
2.
China Doll 2, Part
Ooh.
2, The Freaky Clown, The
Wow.
Licking China Doll.
The licking one.
Is that the same thing as
The licking one I know of is not a doll, but it's. I
Ooh.
feel like they're all the same variation of the
Yeah.
same. You
The
know,
licking one I know it's dog, but then it's
a
human.
Yeah, exactly.
Creepy,
Yeah.
creepy.
Which I'd be happy to tell if
Well, yeah, the one I heard, like my boyfriend's version of it, it was like they're on it was a plane crash, abandoned island. This blind guy has his dog with him, and then when he
that's
finally,
way more plot than
Yeah.
any of the ones I was
Yeah.
told.
and he always reached down and like pets his dog,
Yeah.
and his dog licks him, whatever. And then when they finally get rescued, he's like, "Oh, great! Like,
Where's my dog?
where's my dog?" And he's like, "Your dog's dead."
That one might be worse.
Yeah, the one I heard was just like reaching down to pet your dog when you're going to bed.
Yes,
It was like an
yeah.
old lady or something.
Oh, mine was a young girl because we were young girls being told the story.
Yeah.
And it was, you're like, every night she falls asleep to her dog licking her hand. And she's scratching the dog, licking her hand. And the dog lays under her bed for some ungodly reason because
Yeah.
it's a scary story.
I always thought
And-
it was like by the side of the bed. So when she puts her hand down, her hand is like right at the edge of under the bed, but the dog is like right there.
Got it.
That's what I always pictured.
I mean, maybe we're just picturing different things and we were told the exact same
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, it's she gets up in the middle of the night one night, or the licks feel different, and then she gets up in the middle of the night, and the dog is hung in the shower, and in the dog's blood, it's written humans can lick too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang.
So in Keen's version, is it another person in a plane crash, or was it a
No.
random person already on the
The
island?
person, in theory, I guess, either was in the plane crash or on the island, but he's slowly killing off all the other people.
Oh, so there's
Oh.
even more to
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of plot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the next time we go camping, I am demanding that Larsen and Kaylin tell some more. campers. It's actually so pleasant. Like,
Yeah. Well, and like, we're older now, so we're less scared.
Yeah, it's a little less scary. I won't say that when I was looking up all these ones that I definitely was not getting a little bit freaked out while
No, absolutely not. Why would I be getting scared reading these scary stories?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like as you start telling them too, it starts to spark little other. You're like, oh, that's right. I was told that once in third grade. It's coming
Yeah.
back to me.
it's like
Yeah.
deeply nostalgic.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just storytelling too, like
Mhm.
inherently, right?
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
tapping into our great ancestors.
We're
Yeah.
tapping into our primal needs.
Yeah.
There's something that like actually makes me feel really connected to like humans so far, beyond me in time through the idea that they really also loved a story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
Does telling stories around the solo stove same vibe?
Yeah, it counts. It's fire.
Smokeless. Thank you guys so much for listening.
We hope you'll keep reading The Room with us.
So keep checking back for more episodes every Monday and Thursday that dive into the spaces where literature, media, and culture meet.
Please reach out to us at readtheroom@gmail.com for feedback and topic suggestions.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at readtheroom_culture club for the most up-to-date podcast information.
If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen.
And drop a comment below if one of us gotcha in this this Campfire Stories episode, and send us an email of your campfire story that was a formative experience. We would love to hear those, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll even do like
A part 2?
Yeah, if we
yeah.
get some submissions of some good campfire stories.
maybe we'll do some actually around the campfire.
Yeah.
read them out, see if you can get us.
And please remember, even if this quote-unquote room is a campfire, to take up space in whatever room you're in. Thanks, Roomies.
Bye.
Bye.